Okay, so hi everyone.
Hi.
So I'm here with good friends. Actually, it's like an event friend, right? We've met in events around the world, right? and actually, I'm very, very glad to be in his house because now we are not an event friend anymore. We are house friends. Right? So Hendrik Ebbers, leader from the Dortmund Jug here in Germany. He's a Java champion. He's a Java 1 rock star speaker. He is an open source developer, Java and Java FX fanatic, right? Or developer.
Yeah.
Right. And most of all, a all-around developer that has done lots of different interesting things. So we're gonna have a conversation here in a minute. And so I see here Barry and Chris.
Hi.
Hi guys. I'm glad you guys are able to join. Sorry that we're a little bit late. We got some problems. You know, I had lots of people around already. We had some problems here actually getting the setup, and it wasn't helping. You know, the time that we were doing the setup wasn't helping very much because Henrik did a amazing barbecue here for us right before we started this. So sorry that we're a little bit late, but you know, after traveling so many for so long, it's nice to have a real barbecue being done. Okay, so the whole idea here is to answer your questions and to have an open discussion. So feel free to ask anything you want, and we're going to be talking here. So with you, so Henrik, thanks a lot for receiving us here.
Sure.
And first of all, I think I should ask, are you guys listening to us nicely? Just say hello in the chat. So Barry here saying that run the Dublin Java user group. Thanks for being here with us, Barry. And if you're hearing us fine, just say hello in the chat, just so we're sure that everything's transmitting fine. You know how. Yes, good. Otavio says he can really hear us really, really well, but Otavio is right here, so he doesn't count, right? Yes, here perfect. Thanks, Barry. So that's good. All right, so Henrik, first of all, thanks for receiving us here. And, it's very nice you live here in a lovely house. And I can see that you work from home, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes?
Yeah,
okay.
sometimes.
And you work from home in a little outside of Dortmund, in a very, nice, quiet area. Do you think it's nice to be able to work from home? Can you do different things because you work from home? And do you have a better life because you do this?
So yes, I think it's nice. So how it works for me, I don't work each day from home. So I work at Canoe, and the office from Canoe, or the main office, is in Basel, in Switzerland. And from here, it would be like 6 hours by train to get there. So I can't work each day from the office, which won't make sense.
Right.
So I try to be like 1 week a month in the office. And the rest of the time I work from here, or travel, like having a talk at a conference or meeting a customer or something like that. And what I really like is a mix. Because if I would only work here from home, for me alone, I think I wouldn't like it that much, because you can't really talk with people, do stuff like this. It's all on your own. And so when I'm really 3 weeks here at home and working, I really like to go out, for example, go to Basel and meet other team members and chat with them face by face. So what's really cool is this mix.
Right. And it's nice when you work. I also like to work remotely a lot, and it's nice when you work remotely. That allows you to do, you said about traveling to a conference, for example, because you can actually travel and still do your work, right? So it's not it doesn't tie you to a specific place, not even your own house.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. That's pretty cool. So while we're talking here, there is Alan complains a little bit. There's too much echo. I'm trying to see here, Alan, if there's anything that I can do. Or anything I did wrong. I'll try to fix why you're doing this. And Chris says, all good. Thanks a lot. And Dave says that you know, he's hearing us well from London. So Ruslan is here with us. Say hello, Ruslan. Just so Ruslan, the CEO of Gelastin, is here with us. Oh, he's gonna crash the camera.
No, I'm not going to crash camera.
So Ruslan here is from Ukraine, living in Spain,
right? And
we're actually here in Germany. So you're not from Germany?
I'm from Germany.
You're born here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you're in Germany, and I thought you were somewhere else and was living here. Okay,
No,
all right.
I'm from here.
So you're German living in Germany.
Yeah,
that's pretty
right.
cool. And right, so you know we have people from all over the world. So I see that Dave is from London. Let's see. There's some. Chris is saying there's some problem. I'll work on it, Chris, in just a minute. So Chris, it's saying that you know working from home wherever you are, conference hotel works great. Yes, thanks a lot. And Barry said he has Andre Almeries a few years ago. Where are you from, Barry? Oh, the Dumpling Java user groups. Yes, nice. Okay, so Chris is from Dusseldorf. Yes.
Yeah, that's near.
Yeah. So Chris was with us yesterday, right?
Chris?
Yes, I think that's. I think that's Christoph.
Maybe, that can be.
Yes.
Yeah,
So Mathieu is from Paris. So we have people from all over the world. Thanks, guys, for joining us and participating on this. You know, we are here doing the night hacking. You know, Oracle is supporting us to be here to do all of this cool stuff. Also, Gelastic and Dogado are supporting us to be here. So thanks for all of this. Yes, that's Chris right there. Oh, Prasad is from India. Yes, we got.
Oh, cool.
Yes. So you know we got people from all over the world here discussing a few things. So let me jump right into I think your specialty and things that people are probably looking for. You know, you are a JavaFX specialist, right?
Yeah, some kind of.
Right. So you're a JavaFX specialist, and you're doing JavaFX on the desktop, on mobile, lots of different places.
I did JavaFX on the desktop
Mm-hmm.
and on embedded,
Right.
and I only played with it on mobile. So
Okay.
I never had a project where I really used it on mobile.
Right, but
But it's working.
It works.
Right?
Okay, cool.
But until now, I never had a project. I would love to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So can you tell us a little bit about your experience with JavaFX? And you know, I know there's a lot of developers right there that only hear about Java on the server side kind of thing, and a lot of people just kind of think that Java is this server side stuff, and you can't do client side of Java. And I working on one of the largest desktop projects in Brazil. It's
Okay.
The income tax application that's every year 12 million people use that project. It's a full desktop application. So it's pretty cool that we can have that. But lots of people don't understand this. So how is JavaFX really improving the desktop experience for Java, or you know, should developers learn it?
Okay, so yeah, I think developers should learn it if they want to create a desktop application. So for all the people who never heard about JavaFX, it's since Java 8, so since the current version of Java, the default UI toolkit of the JRE, so of Java. Maybe some of you haven't heard about JavaFX until now, but know Swing, which was the Java UI toolkit before JavaFX. And yeah, JavaFX is up to date, so it was introduced as the official UI toolkit in the current version of Java, Java 8. And by doing so, it has a lot of modern features, like, let's say, multi-touch support or simply touch support, 3D support, and things like that. And in addition, you can run it on a desktop, or if you want, you can run it on a IoT device, so on an ARM, for example, or a Raspberry Pi, or on a mobile.
So really, when you're talking about the desktop, the server side. Oh, by the way, I did fix a little bit, did a few things with the microphone, so you guys can tell me if it's working or not. We're gonna just tweak a little bit if it's not better. But so when you're talking about JavaFX on the desktop, on embedded, and on mobile, so does JavaFX still tries to keep the right ones run everywhere promise of Java, or is every place is different? How? because those devices are pretty different from each other, right?
Yeah, that's right. So what you can simply write an application and it automatically runs everywhere, because there are, for example, features that are not supported on each device type. So I think 1 week ago or so, the WebKit support was added to the mobile runtime for JavaFX. This was, for example, one thing that didn't work before on mobile. So there's a UI component in JavaFX. It's called the web view, and you can simply view or show HTML content into this web view, like you know it from mobile. Sometimes you have this panels or something like that contains the web view. You can do it with JavaFX too, and that was a feature that didn't work on mobile, but Kuron, the company behind the JavaFX mobile port, added this, I think 1 week ago or so.
Okay, pretty cool. And so there's a question from Chris immediately here, so I'll jump to him. Isn't JavaFX for ARM unsupported now? I think I read somewhere that ARM fell out of support. So is this?
Yeah, that's right. So with the beginning of Java 8, I don't exactly the version. They added a downloadable JRE for ARM that included JavaFX. And you can simply install it, for example, on a Pi and start a JavaFX application on the Pi. And with, I don't know if it was around update 40 or so from Java 8, they removed JavaFX from the default ARM JRE. And if you now want to run JavaFX on an ARM, for example, you need to compile it by yourself.
Okay.
But there are places in the internet where you can download, for example, a compiled version or the files that you need to include into your JRE on the Pi to have JavaFX and things like multi-touch support also.
Right. But a lot of developers don't care too much about the support thing, because once the project is open source, they can tweak and they can support themselves, right? So is JavaFX complete open source right now?
Yeah, JavaFX is complete open source right now. There are some libraries where JavaFX depend on, like the media codecs. You have a media view in JavaFX, and you can simply play a video, for example, in JavaFX. And some of the codecs, for example, I think they are not open source because they are from another company who haven't open sourced it. But the Java sources are open source. Right.
Okay. And even in this case of the codecs, can you add other open source codecs if you want?
I've never tried it.
Never tried. Okay.
So maybe if you, so there's no public API for that. Maybe if you build JavaFX on your own based on the sources, you can change the native library for plays videos. But I've never tried it.
Okay. All right. So basically, being an open source project, you can tweak yourself and you can support yourself. I think this is one of the most important thing about Java being open source, because even if whatever company decides not to pursue some parts of Java, we can continue to do this over the community side, right? And you guys at Canoe, are you actually doing like real projects with JavaFX today?
Yes.
Or yes?
Yes. Yeah, we have several real projects. So currently, for example, we're working on a big project that has a web client and a JavaFX client. That is very interesting because it's so the normal users will use the web-based client, but we have a special administration client where you, for example, you can design workflows and stuff like that, and you see the workflows and you can drag and drop and do stuff like that. And because that was much more easy to do in JavaFX, we decided to do the administration client or the expert user client. It's more or less for the expert users.
Right.
The client in JavaFX. That's one example. We have several. I think the last 2 years I worked on, I don't know, 5 or 6 JavaFX projects, sometimes smaller ones. There was a company who did trading software, and they already had a Swing application, and they wanted to change to or migrate to JavaFX, and there we helped them how to migrate and how to create an architecture in JavaFX. Yeah, stuff like that. So several projects in JavaFX. Then we did the voting machines for Java 1, which are running with JavaFX 2, which is a very good example for JavaFX on embedded, for example.
And those voting machines were pretty fun.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Very nice. I hope people kind of vote for my presentation. Okay.
Yeah, so, we will have the chance again in present.
Yes, right.
There will be at the Java 1. Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna use the same machines in Brazil. That's pretty cool. Nice. You're gonna be there?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna see you in Brazil very soon. All right. So if you're watching us and you're interested in coming to Java 1 Brazil, it's gonna be in about a month from now, right? So we still have time for you to get there. And so what kind of, when you talk about desktop applications, so you talk about, like trading companies and the expert usage of this. So what kind of users are actually using the web versions? What kind of users are using the more dynamic desktop versions? Is there a separation for types of users, or each project is different?
I think it depends on the project, because and it depends on the type of the company. So for example, I know a lot of banks banking companies in Germany that still have desktop applications,
right?
And they want to have desktop applications. Then when talking about the military stuff, or for example, airports and everything was really important. A lot of these companies still have desktop applications and want to have desktop applications.
Yeah. We have an example. We're trying to get those guys to become like a public use case, but we have a bank in Brazil that's is doing using JavaFX for the ATM. So that's I think there's a lot of cases where you do need a more responsive and interactive application in the hands of your customer, right?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. So do you want to show anything for us? I see you have here on your computer like GUI Garage. Is this?
Yeah, this is my blog. So I just opened it because when we talk about JavaFX, maybe that's interesting.
Right. Can I present to everyone here?
Yeah, you can present to everyone.
All right.
So,
okay.
Okay. Yeah. So if you are interested in JavaFX and want to start JavaFX, that's why I opened it. So that's my blog. It's just guigarage.com. And there I have a page, Learn JavaFX, with a lot of important or interesting links, how you can learn JavaFX. So for example, together with Michael Heinrich, who was technical lead of the JavaFX core components, I created a ref card at DZone for JavaFX 8, and I think this is always a good start to get an overview about technology. And there we, come on. Okay.
I'm using all the bandwidth here to transmit your presentation.
So it contains all the control types that are in JavaFX, the different layout panes, so how you can define a layout, how you can create dialogues and stuff like that. So this is a good starting point. Then in addition, there are some online tutorials. So I've linked 2 of them on my page because I think they are really good. And then I did, I think it's 2 hours, 2-hour JavaFX for beginners video or tutorial at Parley's that you can simply watch. It's 2 hours, and yeah, I explain how to use JavaFX, starting with an Hello World, and how to create a model view controller architecture in JavaFX, how to use CSS to style an application, for example. Oh.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, and in addition, if you want to create a bigger application in JavaFX, maybe it's interesting too that we at Canoe do JavaFX training. So we did it, I think, 2 times a year in our headquarters in Basel. Or for other companies that can't come there, we will come to the company and do some JavaFX training. That's very cool. Oh, and there are a lot of JavaFX books out there. Yeah, I would prefer the Mastering JavaFX 8 controls because that's mine. But as you can see, I linked 3 books here, so the others are as good. Yeah, I think that's a good starting point if you want to learn JavaFX.
Okay, that's very cool. It's very nice that you kind of put together a whole lot of resources there. So, and you think that's you have all those resources to learn JavaFX and everything. And one of the things that we are discussing here in this tour is things that developers can do to improve their careers, right?
Okay.
And so you think there is a large opportunity for developers on the desktop side? I mean, is there's still opportunities, still companies doing it, there's still a market that's growing, or you think that most developers should not even care for that?
So yeah, I don't know. To be true, I think it's most developers do web and most companies do web these days. So I think it's some kind of a niche, this desktop development. I think it's still good and it still makes sense. And for example, we at Canoe, we really like it, and we have customers who like it. And but yeah, as I said, most of the companies do web, and I think it depends on what you are interested in. Because so I started to learn JavaFX not because I needed it for a project, because I wanted to know how it works. I did a lot of Swing before that, and when JavaFX came out, I was still, for example, in the Swing project. But I wanted to know what's the difference between JavaFX and Swing, how JavaFX is running, how the APIs are designed, and stuff like that. And I think more important to say, okay, is this now a hype, or do a lot of companies do this, is do I like it?
Right.
I think that is the most important point. So because only if you do something that you really like, you from my point of view, you can be very good in this topic.
Yeah, so Chris is asking here if you're aware of any commercial IoT device, Internet of Things device, running JavaFX. He says side the ATM, or besides the ATM. Yeah, I think this ATM that I mentioned is actually a company project. I don't think maybe they're selling. I don't know.
So I know IoT devices, but there are no devices that you can go into a shop and buy them.
Right.
I know several devices, for example, in the car industry, when they put the cars together.
Right.
That there are several JavaFX applications on the screen where you can touch and stuff like that. But I don't know an open commercial IoT device next to this ATM or the voting machines.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the voting machines is pretty neat, right? Yeah. It's a very consumer grade device.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so, anything else you want to show, or you can just? I moved the camera here. So actually, let me remind you that's watching us that's the whole purpose of we're traveling all here over Germany. We're gonna go to Switzerland after, and then to Spain. We are trying to get to Italy. We might even add Italy in the middle of the tour, right? So we're trying to get, because we're coming to guys, like Hendrik's house, right? We are. And to get him close to you, so you got to ask questions. Come on, fire your questions away, right? Because it's an amazing opportunity to be here and talking with him. And I can ask him questions from him all day long. But grab your chance and ask your question. So one interesting thing is that a lot of the things that you're doing, that you're working on, especially JavaFX, it's all open source, right? So. Yep. And do you think that the fact that those technologies are open source, or that you are working on an open source project, has this helped you in your career? Is this a good path for developers to actually get involved in open source projects?
Yes, definitely. So I think I learned a lot from open source projects. Because so when I started, I worked as a Java developer here in a company in Dortmund. And the software that was created there wasn't the best. You know, there were problems with the build, problems with the infrastructure, problems with the APIs, and all of it. And yeah, if you do this each day on such a base, it's very hard to become better.
Right.
And that's why I started to have a look at open source projects, at open source Java project. How do they solve things? For example, how should a project on API be structured, right? So if you look at GitHub and look at any Java project, most of the time you simply have a POM, so you can simply check it out, build it with Maven. You don't need any deep knowledge or need to start any script in the shell or something like that. And this is something that I learned from open source, for example, that it must be very easy to open a project, compile it, start it, and use it.
It's amazing how many projects you see. You know, I totally agree with you, because the open source project is made so other developers can start using it and experiment with it, and can compile it without the original developer machine and IDE. But it's amazing how many companies still develop applications where, you know, only on the one machine of the developer, and on the IDE, the developer has to press build, so for the project to build, right?
Yeah, and that's scary. You know, that was the same for me when I thought, oh, this couldn't be right, you know. And for me, having a look at open source project was perfect to learn how you can do it better. And this was not the only benefit. I think there are several benefits. So I think if I haven't done this, I wouldn't be here now. You know? So, for example, so after I had a look at several open source projects and stuff like that, I thought, okay, let's try it out. Do your own thing. And yeah, this was some years ago. I created some Swing components. And yeah, they were open source, and I blogged about them. And Gertjan from the NetBeans team,
yes.
he's seen it in the on the internet. I don't know how. And then yeah, I've received a mail from him, and he told me, "Hey, that is so cool. I do a tour, and I will be at the Jürgen Münster, and we'll do a NetBeans training. Do you want to come and show your components?" And I said,
nice.
"What? What?" Yeah, and this was the first talk that I did, and then yeah, and even there, this was the first time where I was at the JAG in Münster. And I think 3 months later, I started the JAG in Dortmund, because I really liked it to be there, and it was really cool. And yeah, and I think half a year later or so, I had a short talk at DevOps in Belgium, and so it started. So it started because of doing some open source stuff.
Right. It's nice that there is a combination, right? Because, you know, you're working on open source, and you're putting your code out there, you're putting your face out there, and then from there you're invited to do talks and presentations. So it's like the other side of coding, right? The other side of coding is actually sharing all of these and a lot of people are just kind of think, oh, I'm just going to do code, because if I do only code all my life, I'm going to be great. But a lot of times you need to get out of your shell a little bit and present to other people. So actually the code that you do actually make a big difference, right?
Yes, and even watch other people. You know, it's a lot of learning, and even there, open source is very important. And I think I already said it. I think what's very important too is that you like it, that you don't. So if you say, okay, now I need to do open source because I need to get better to get a better job or something like that, I don't know if this will work, right? If you say, oh, that's cool, I will try it, I think that will work. Okay,
nice. So do things that you like.
Yeah, do things that you like. I think that's very important.
That's really nice. So there's some questions here.
Okay.
Wilson is asking, could you talk about your first project with JavaFX and what you've learned from it? And in what you try to improve in JavaFX from that project?
So my first project in JavaFX was some kind like a front end for an app store, for a Swing-based software where you can download modules, and we did this web store front end then or app store. So it wasn't a real app store because you just downloaded something into your Swing application. We did this with JavaFX, and yeah, this even was not JavaFX as it is today, as a part of Java AE, and everything is based on Java API. It was before JavaFX 2, where JavaFX was a script language.
Right. Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, that was a point where I really don't like JavaFX that much, because you needed to learn a new language and stuff like that.
I see.
And it was hard. You could there was a lot of possibilities to do animations, transitions, change the opacity and stuff like that. But you needed to learn a new language to do it. And I liked the outcoming, but it was hard to learn. And then I don't know when it was when they pronounced JavaFX 2 as plain Java API at Java 1, maybe 2011, 12 or something like that.
That was after Oracle acquired Sun, right?
Yeah,
I think that was one of the Oracle changes was to kind of refocus JavaFX into Java. Right?
Yeah, that's right. This is a JavaFX that I like a lot more, because you have Java APIs. You can simply start IntelliJ or Eclipse or whatever IDE you have, and it's just Java, right? You simply code Java. You code the same things that you code if you would create a Spring Boot application or a Vaadin front end or whatever. And that's another important point, because you asked me if it's important to learn JavaFX. I think what is more important to, for example, learn JavaFX or learn, I don't know, for example, Spring or something like that, is to learn Java and, for example, new features that were introduced in Java 8 and stuff like that, like lambdas or streams, because that is something that you can use everywhere, wherever you use Java. And in addition, at JavaFX, you can see it heavily that JavaFX was designed for Java 8, which means you will work with lambdas, and
okay.
So when
it's a good way to learn other things.
Yeah, definitely. So when I started with JavaFX, there were no lambdas. It was Java 7, and I asked myself, "Whoa, what's that?" It's for everything you do, you need to create it in a class.
Right.
The code looks so terrible, but with Java 8, it's awesome, because you just use lambdas, functional interfaces, and you're done, and that's really great.
That's nice. So basically, you can have your own like desktop-like projects and use it to learn Lambda. Yes.
And there, JavaFX is quite nice to learn it, because if you want to try it on the server, you don't see what happens, right? But if you write a small JavaFX application with some buttons or so, you can simply play with lambdas and with streams and click the button and see the outcome, for example.
Right. Yeah, it makes a lot easier even to kind of step through the code, because they're all local, and then you can put a breakpoint, press a button, see what's going on, and understand the code better. Yes, I enjoy also writing desktop application. I think this it's for me is rare. I'm not focused on desktop application, but I had lots of fun working on a couple of desktop applications in my life, and it's a different experience. It's nice to have. Okay, so there's another question here from Barry, and he says that you mentioned that you work from home. How typical is this for Canoe, from people working from home, and what is like working on a distributed team?
Okay, so it's not so typical for Canoe, because most of my colleagues live in Switzerland or around Basel or in Basel, and they simply go to the office, because the Canoe office is nice. It's an open space.
Oh, it's a nice office.
Yeah, it's a nice office.
I'll be there.
Yeah,
Yes,
with Andrews, right?
It's part of the trip, trip of to going to Bassa, right? We're going to all the cool places.
and Canoe does a lot, like I think we have a breakfast at Monday. Then there is once a week it's sports where my colleagues go play football. So it had benefits to be at the office.
Nice.
But we have some people like me who live too far away to be there every day. I think it's me, it's Garrett, and maybe 3 more or so. So not that many people.
Right. So working on the distributed team. So actually, you have a few people that are remote. So does everyone in the team, because you're remote, because Garrett is remote, everyone in the team has to work like they were remote? Or, there's some guys sitting side by side and they do a meeting, they decide things, and you don't hear about it for a week because they're not. How does that work when you have like those mixed teams?
Yeah. So we use Skype very heavily. And there are days where half of my working time I just have Skype chats.
Right.
So video chats. We have rooms with big screens and cameras on the screens at Canoe, so that you can simply sit at the table and chat with one, and I can see 6 people sitting there without any problem.
Nice. All right.
That's very good, and
it gives you a sense of being part of the team.
Yeah, that's right, and that's really working very good. And so, for example, for the project where I currently work on, we have at 9 o'clock each day a daily, and I join by Skype.
Okay.
And so sometimes if you have a problem, you need to Skype.
Right.
You can't go just 5 meters and ask the person. You need to Skype in, but that's working. Right. So this was something that I asked myself before I started to work at Canoe, if this will work. And because I think it's different if you start at a company where everything is distributed, or at a company at Canoe where not everything is distributed.
Right.
And I asked myself if this will work, but to be true, it really worked very good.
Yeah, so, it's interesting. I've been working remotely. I mean, basically 90% of my time remotely since around 1998, right? And I was very lucky to be working for Sun at that time. And Sun had an infrastructure, phones, remote phones, and conference rooms, and all this kind of thing. They were prepared to do remote work. But at that time, it was really expensive, right, for you to have, to have this infrastructure. So today is a lot easier, right? Because you can have things like Skype or Hangouts or all kinds of online technology to help you out.
Yeah. You only need internet, right?
Right.
You don't need anything else. You have everything. I have a camera in my laptop. Most of the Canoe services I can simply access, like our Git or
that's another thing.
Java, stuff like that. It's just working, and that's easy.
Yeah, all the repositories are and you can have your Jenkins build server that's sitting somewhere so everyone can share that. Okay, that's pretty cool. So Mathieu, is the guy from Paris. So hi Mathieu, how are you doing? Hope you're enjoying there. Unfortunately, we're gonna fly over France because we go from Switzerland to Spain. Okay. But this time on this trip, we're not gonna go to France. But thanks for the online technologies, right? We got people participating. Thanks a lot. But he asked us if you use any graphical editor for your JavaFX application.
Yes. So when developing a JavaFX application, you can structure your view or the thing that you want to show as a model view controller pair. And JavaFX introduced something which is called FXML. It's like HTML in the web world. So you can use a markup language to describe the components that you want to show and the layout of the components. And there's a graphical editor. So what you see is what you get editor for this FXML file that you can use to simply drag and drop your view. And which is funny because from my point of view, this is really what you see is what you get editor, because I know some web, what you see is what you get editor, and you never get what you see, right? but with the JavaFX one, it's written in JavaFX,
right?
So you really get what you see.
Right. Okay. Cool. So I might be putting you in the spot. Is this easy for you to run over there?
Sure.
So people can take in. Let me share your screen again. Yeah. So people can take a look and see what exactly you're talking about, because I think that's you can go showing what I'm talking about. I think that's a lot of times we see this kind of things. Oh yes, because in the past you had like things like VB, Delphi to construct applications, and they're so lame and so many problems in the past.
Yeah.
But I think things are much better those days, right?
Okay. So the tool is named Scene Builder.
Scene Builder, okay.
It was the development. It's an open source tool too, and the development was started by Oracle, and now a company called Code4Life has taken it over and continue the open source development of this tool.
Cool.
And so as I said, so this is our working area here, and we can simply drag and drop the things that we want to show on our view here in the working area. And here on the right, we have something that is called the inspector, where we can change properties for the component. So let's maybe just create a small form. Let's say we want to have some more rows.
So when you mean a small form, something like add your name.
Something like
that.
So
JavaFX is not only about animation, right? You can actually create applications like traditional applications with it.
Yeah. So JavaFX is an UI toolkit, but it contains a very large component library. So it contains a low-level API that defines how graphic works, like lines, circles, rectangles, stuff like that, and how you can change the color and animate them. And based on this primitive shapes, JavaFX provides a huge component toolkit. And another thing that is, maybe I can show an example. And then we will continue with the scene builder.
Right.
Let me see if I can find it. That's another big benefit of JavaFX, because all the basic shapes are vector based and not pixel based like it was in Swing. And based on this, all the controls in JavaFX are vector based and not pixel based. So what does it mean? Let me show you a small sample. It's this one.
Yeah. So I know you're not showing any of the code, but just from seeing really quick, it's all Java code, right?
Yeah, it's all Java code. It's a small example. This is open source. This is the GitHub repository of my book, Mastering JavaFX Controls. It's at GitHub. And it's linked on my blog too. So this example, it only has 2 buttons in it, and I can click the button. But this example shows 2 cool features of JavaFX. So what the audience can't see now is this is started on a MacBook, and since JavaFX supports multi-touch, and my MacBook has a multi-touch trackpad, I can simply pinch on the trackpad to zoom into the application and the buttons. Or I can rotate on my trackpad on the Mac to rotate the buttons.
Yeah, so this is pretty cool. Let me just get. No, while you're doing this, let me just move the camera right there. So actually people can see you doing this. Yeah, sorry guys, you're gonna see like some earthquake going on, but you can see, as you can see on the screen, he's just kind of using the trackpad. So basically what you're doing is you're affecting the UI itself, right? The buttons and everything.
Yeah. With this event. And what you can see now is that even if the buttons are that big, you don't see any pixels, because all the components are vector based. And I can simply,
and then you can still click on it.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, okay.
Sure.
So there's still like a totally functional button.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty cool. All right.
Okay, so now go back to the scene builder editor. So what I want to do is I want to add some labels. Let's say here a label and another label and another label. Let's say this is name. This is description. I don't know, notes, something like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, and now add some text fields, for example. So, and here on the bottom, we want to add some buttons.
Mm-hmm.
To do so, I will do a small trick. Oh, come on. There's an H box that layouts each component next to each other.
Uh-huh.
And I simply say that in this grid, it will have a current span of 2, which means that it will fill the whole area. And now simply add two buttons into it, like this. And oh, come on. And this. And then say, okay, we want to align this to the baseline, right? Now the buttons are there. And now I simply say, okay, this one, by default, they define height for the cells. And I say, okay, you should only be as high as your content. And for this one too. Oh. And for this one too. Right, and let me see, for this one too. And now let's say this one should not grow. This one should always grow. This one should never grow. And this one should always grow. And now we can define some padding.
So this is similar to the layout that we had in Swing, right? But it's similar, but seems to be different also.
It's similar like you have in Swing. So you have components like buttons or text fields and so on.
Yeah, I'm talking about when you're laying everything out, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
So this is similar. So when you know Swing and start using JavaFX, you will see a lot of things that
are similar.
That are similar.
Okay, cool.
So under the hood, there are a lot of things that are different. But if you already know Swing, it's quite easy to start. So let me just show a preview of this one, so you can see it's
cool.
Quite easy to create a form based with JavaFX. And the nice part is that I now can simply create a controller class and inject all the UI components that I defined here in my controller class, and for example, add listeners to them, do stuff like that.
Okay, pretty cool. So Everson showed up, and he's asking what's the name of this graphical editor, but the audience already has answered, right? So Chris said Sign Builder. Yeah, so Everson did Scene Builder, and Chris already sent where you can download it. So that's pretty cool. All right, thanks guys for a very participative audience. Thanks a lot. So it's amazing. So things has gone pretty long way, right? It's a pretty sleek editor right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not sure that do you answer all? I think we answered all the questions here, but I think that's Matteo. I think this was a very, very good and true out answer of the editor that's being used right there, and I think it's pretty impressive. Now, one of the things interesting is that because everything is Java, right? Really, all your Java knowledge from everything that you've done, you can apply to JavaFX application, right?
Yes, so sure.
So basically, although we're talking about JavaFX being the UI part, you can connect back to server side. You can do things like parse XML and parse JSON, do REST. Yeah. REST access to server things. I mean, you can do all the Java security part. I mean, everything that we have in Java is available.
Yes, that's right. So everything that is part of Java SE, right? So yeah.
Okay.
That's, you can add any dependency. It's really quite, so it starts with a main, right? So it's plain Java.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big move from when JavaFX first started, right? It gets back to so Java developers really being able to use in an easy way.
Yes.
Okay, and since you can actually use all those other features of Java, and one of the things that we are talking a lot about this tour is Java running in the cloud.
Yes.
So are you doing any of your project or applications where actually the JavaFX client is interfacing with some cloud-based service or some REST-based service?
Sure. So one example again is a voting machine.
Okay. So now there is a question, a very important question from Chris.
He says,
yes. Does JavaFX still support Corba? Actually, Chris, the question is, does anything still support Corba, right?
Yeah.
It's probably right there. It's still available in the download of Java, I guess.
Great. So talking about the cloud in JavaFX. So as I said, one example is the voting machine, because the server of the voting machines, where all the current sessions that are displayed on the machines and so are coming from, is running in the cloud. It's a simple Java server application that is running in the cloud. It's quite easy there to use REST endpoints or to access REST endpoints in JavaFX. To be true, it's as easy as on the server side, because the JSR for REST contains a client API,
right?
And you can use exactly, so these are just interfaces, and you can simply use Jersey with these interfaces in a JavaFX application, and by doing so, you can simply use the same API in Java. There's one thing that you need to know but that you need to know for each desktop architecture or SDK or programming language that you use, that UI toolkits always are single-threaded, which means that if you want to do a long-running call, like calling a REST endpoint on a server, you need to do it in a background thread.
Okay.
That is quite important. Otherwise, you will freeze your application, and it looks to the end user like it's broken. So this is an important point. On the other side, one thing that you already said is that since it's Java, you can use the same or the same Java APIs on the client and on the server.
Okay.
And this is one of the ideas where of an open source project where I'm currently working from, because this goes into directly this direction, how to connect the JavaFX client with a server, for example, in the cloud. It's called Dolphin Platform. It's an open source project by Canoe. So Andrews, for example, is working with me on the project, which is a enterprise remoting framework for Java. We have several client implementations. We have a JavaScript client implementation too. But the interesting part is that it follows the remote presentation model pattern. And by using JavaFX, you will have a model that is synchronized and shared between client and server, and you can simply change a value on the client and will be automatically reflected on the server. And you have the same model class on the client and on the server, because both is Java.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So Ruslan, he's talking here about JavaFX clients accessing REST applications, right? Right. So okay, let's squeeze a little bit so Ruslan can get here. So he's talking about JavaFX clients accessing REST applications. Can we run REST applications on your platform?
If it's like web application, of course, like it doesn't matter, is it REST or is it like SOA, or something like that. If it requires resources on server side, it means you can even run, I believe, Corba. So
oh man, that's scary.
Yeah, because it's it's like resources. You can run C, like Java. For Java, we have like nice, cool, specific features. Like, you know, like availability, scalability, elasticity, and so on. Like easy deployment, like DevOps continuous integration, continuous deployment workflows. Yeah, but yes,
yeah, you know, because one of the things that I like yesterday, one of the questions that was asked to the panel was if you know, it was still valid to learn Java and everything like that. And I think Chris, that's why actually watching us, I think he was the one that said that the most important thing about Java is the ecosystem of things that we can do. Yeah. And I think it's really, really cool that's why I brought Ruslan here, because I think it's really, really cool that we're talking here, you know, all about JavaFX and client-side applications and you know, developing for mobile, for embedded and everything. And then we're also talking here with Ruslan that has the other server side kind of thing, the cloud side of running Java. And as a Java developer, I can sit right here in the middle and I can do like end-to-end develop, because it's the same technology, the same APIs, it's the same language, it's the same tools. I think this is a very important thing, because I saw you open IntelliJ IDEA, and so it's the same tool that you can use to do the whole thing, right? So I think this is really important. This is really powerful for all of us.
Yeah. This is very important point, yes. So this is the reason why I started actually to learn Java.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a lot of Spark platforms, like we didn't know how to program exactly, right? Like, and Java was available there, and later I figured out, okay, if I write once, I can run it everywhere. This is very important point. So it saved a lot of time, and you know, it made my life.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna get back here to JavaFX. So there's a couple of questions, but I just want to point to you that Ruslan here, he is offering, actually through his partner, Dogado. Actually, I have a little paper right here. So this company here, oh, right there. So this company here, Dogado, is helping us out here at the tour, right? And they are based right here
in Dortmund.
Dortmund. So it's so we're right in the place where a lot of cool technology is happening right here. And so Dogado is offering for everyone that's watching us 150 euros to experiment Java in the cloud on their environment. So I put on the screen right there for you. There's you click on the button, try now, and you're gonna get your page where you can use this voucher that you can see on the screen, right? And if you're watching us and not the screen, the voucher is 3PJN9M8E, right? So, you know, or whatever, or we're gonna send over email also. But you know, I think it's really cool that today we have so many opportunities to learn those new technologies. And there's a little bit more questions here for you about JavaFX. So is there an application framework around JavaFX?
Yeah, there are application frameworks. So I wouldn't say there is the one application framework.
Okay.
Because JavaFX is still new. And yeah, several groups and people started to develop application frameworks around JavaFX. In addition, there's a JSR that tries to do exactly this, so to create a standard for desktop application, or it's not even desktop, it's mobile and embedded too, just for this kind of applications.
Right.
And for application frameworks, so examples are, for example, DataFX. Griffon this can be used with JavaFX. There's a third big one, and I already miss a name. Let me see if I can find it. I think there's a list on the JSR page.
Okay.
So it's JSR 377.
Yeah, so JSR 377 is a desktop embedded application
API.
And this is a reasonably new specification, right? Yes, or is an old one?
It's a new one.
It's a new one, right? Yes, it's a reasonably new one. Yes. So actually, since why are you looking right there? We started this tour in Berlin. You know, actually Tuesday and Tuesday and Wednesday this week. Right. And Tuesday and Wednesday this week, we had the JCP Executive Committee meeting. So both me and Otavio, and actually Ruslan also was there as a guest speaker. We're here to discuss about the future of Java through the Java community process. So it's very cool to have a Java specification request, a JSR, for the desktop world.
Yeah.
So I was just giving you some time so you could find your URL.
Yeah. I
Oh, you want me to share this here?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay,
Just share it.
Okay.
So here they are. They are on the JCP org page under the desktop and embedded application API JSR. There is a section contributions, and there is a link of the.
Do this one again. Yes, the Zoom was nice.
Excuse me?
Do this one again.
This what one?
This one. Yes, Zoom.
The Zoom.
Yes,
the
Zoom.
Zoom.
Yes, because
and here we have the links.
So all of these are so those are the companies and frameworks that you can use with JavaFX, right? So there's several.
So yeah, NetBeans and Eclipse are mentioned here too. There are normally NetBeans is based on Swing and Eclipse is based on SWT.
Right.
But you can use JavaFX in both of them.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
So, yeah, you can if you have a rich client that is based on the NetBeans platform, all the new views that you will do until from now on, you can do, for example, with JavaFX, and for Eclipse the same. So there's in JavaFX there's a bridge to SWT and to JavaFX that you can include one UI toolkit into each other.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. All right, so we're almost at the top of the hour here, and just to get the guys that are watching us some more food for thought. If you had one suggestion, and I'll give you this chance, although you're not being interviewed here, but I'll ask this for you too. So if you had
just switch back.
Switch back to us. All right. Yes. Okay. So if you had one thing that you would suggest a developer, either an experienced developer or maybe a starting developer that they should do or they could do to like improve their career, to do one step forward in their career, what is the thing that you would suggest? I mean, what is the thing that you think looking back that you did, they say, come on, I did this and really changed my life, and it could also work for other people.
Okay, so for me, it was very important to visit conference and user groups on the one hand, to just learn things, and on the other hand, as I already said, you should do what you like. I think these two things are very important to learn and do what you like, and based on this, you will, I think, more or less automatically become good. If you do what you like, and if you are willing to learn and to listen, that's just great.
That's pretty cool. All right. So actually, you gave lots of good advice there, right? Learn, listen, right? Do things that you like. I mean, that make it. I think that this do things that you like. I think James Gosling put in a very nice way is that do things that are fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Fun is something that we have to. Each one has its own idea of fun, right? So before I go to you, so Chris has another part of the JCP. I can only recommend to everybody, join this JSR if you're interested. Okay. All right. So JSR 377, right? 377 is a pretty cool one. And Wilson says, what is your opinion regarding JavaFX adoption over Swing? Do you feel or see that the industry is going to adopt JavaFX? I'm working a massive Swing project, and I don't see right now my company changing to JavaFX over time. Maybe I could try harder for them to adopt JavaFX or move into NetBeans. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, so I think this is a question that you can't simply answer with yes or no.
Right.
Because I think it depends a lot on the software. So I already did this migration from Swing to JavaFX with customers. And I think it's possible. There are different ways. So you can do the Big Bang approach, for example, and do everything new in JavaFX, or you can try to remove it part by part and integrate, for example, JavaFX into Swing, do stuff like that. So as I said, some of the APIs are very similar to between JavaFX and Swing. There are other parts which aren't similar. For example, in JavaFX, you have this new property API that you can use to define bindings. You don't have this default POJOs like you have in Swing, and then implement your own listener concepts or something like that. In JavaFX, you have properties that automatically provide listener support and binding support, bidirectional or unidirectional. And this is a different, and you need, so what I think is a good way to try to move the Swing application or the views to a direction that it goes like the JavaFX APIs work. And if you really do model view controllers or MVC, it will work. There are still differences, but if you go into this MVC direction with your views, it's much more easy to migrate them.
Okay, because I think that in the past there's lots of technology that kind of.
What's the name? Someone said, "Hi, Hendrik."
Abinay. If tell us where you're from, Abinay. You just show up and say, So I think on this, Wilson is asking something that everyone asks at some point. When there's a new technology, a new framework that's kind of do the same thing as an old framework does, and people say, is it time for change? Should I migrate? I think it's something that's really hard. It's a project by project base. But one thing that I like to say to people is like, if you're starting a new project, and your project's going to take some time, to mature and to become. Try not to start with something it's slowly being deprecated, right? Because it means that when your project gets mature, you will have exactly the moment that you should be enjoying your project, you're going to have to be migrating to something because that technology has reached its end of time. And I think that's where Swing is right now. Is Swing being slowly deprecated? Yeah. Okay.
So I'm happy that we're not in the JavaScript world where this happens like every week.
Right. Yes. Yes. JavaScript's a different thing. Yes. Exactly.
But yes. So I think that Swing is at this point. So Oracle won't add new features to Swing.
You won't add,
this
right.
won't happen.
So if there are they going to fix bugs at least?
Yeah, if there are important bugs, they will be fixed.
All right.
But they won't add any features to Swing. And from today, when you have a look how applications perform today and how the user experience is, there's a lot in Swing that is missing. It starts with something like transparency, animations, stuff like that. And this is all part of JavaFX. So if you start a new application today, you definitely should use JavaFX instead of Swing.
Right. Okay. All right. So Wilson, I hope this kind of answered this, like your question. But
jokes never get boring.
Yes, Chris saying that JavaScript jokes, yes, they never get boring. Before I get back to Ruslan, I think there's some very interesting things that we should be talking about. And we are here having lots of fun, discussing things. I'm going to do some more earthquake here, because we are having fun right there, and there's one person that's actually working, right? This is Otavio. Why we have fun right there? Otavio's here working, and he's doing, I have no idea what he's doing. He's doing Dockerfile, Elasticsearch, Jinja, So, all right, so Otavio here is actually doing some work. So when you say night hacking, it's actually day hacking, because it's a pretty amazing day here in Germany today. And so it's day, and hacking is Otavio that's hacking, right? We are here just having fun. Okay. Yes. All right. So Ruslan, I'll actually ask you the same question, right? Yep. I forgot what the question was.
What should you do to become?
Yes, right, exactly. So if you had one suggestion, what should you do, or what did you do in your career that actually made a big difference?
Okay, so it's hard to disagree with Hendrik, about you do what you like the most and have fun with it. If you can combine what you love with your job, it's the best situation in your life. Because just imagine you spend more than 30% of your life on work, right? And if you do something bad, you don't like it, so you lose third part of your life. It's crazy, right?
Right. Yes.
So, but if you like it, so you enjoy it, right? And even you sleep less, so you enjoy more. But so to finalize, do fun enjoy it, and become professional in this fund.
Right.
So become an expert. In this case, so companies and people will be willing to pay you for that fun that you do.
Right.
So, and at the end, you have fun and you have money. Like,
right.
So,
well, I don't have money, but at least I have fun, and I do have some companies actually paying me. Well, not paying me, but actually paying my expenses to travel here
so this is what
to Germany. So,
this is what
so I can meet good and nice people. That's pretty cool.
Money is not enough.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And let me finish. So exactly this helped me. So I had fun. I had a big fight inside the company. Should we use Java or not? Really, so when at the beginning, it was at 2001. My colleagues, they told me no, Java will not be popular. And the sun is dying, and so on, right. But finally, I won the fight.
Right. Okay.
How I won?
You won the fight. You left the company.
We implemented a big project on Java.
Right. And that was not any project, right? Because you're talking about the National Science.
It was National State Space Agency.
Right. That's pretty cool. Right.
It was very hard to to implement this project, but we implemented it, and it worked 9 years after I left.
9 years after your life, okay,
yeah.
and then it finally fall apart because no one was working on it. No, I'm just
because kidding. No one,
no one learning Java, just you
following here like this.
No, I'm just kidding because in Ukraine there's a very large, strong Java community. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Actually, I love.
So what happened? They upgraded just to another version.
Right. Yeah, I was there for Java Day Kyiv, and it was an amazing event.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so there's one more question here, but before I get to the question, if you. So I will. Both of you said do the things that you love, right? And I totally agree with that. I try to kind of do the things that I find fun. But there is a counterpoint to this, right? The guy I forgot his name, but the guy that writes the Dilbert that draws the Dilbert cartoons, he has a very nice discussion about he thinks that this whole thing about do what you love is kind of bullshit, right? Because he thinks that you should love what you do. That's a slightly different thing, right? Because a lot of times the things that you love can't really help you get money to survive.
Right.
So sometimes you have to love the things that you do that you are good at. So
Absolutely.
Two different views, but I think it's a slightly twist. But I'll be Nay here saying I have a question related to bindings. Can you put some light into bindings and weak listeners? When to use listeners instead of bindings? But let me tell you what. You have 30 seconds because we're way over time here.
Okay.
So shed some light in 30 seconds. I just think it's really hard.
Okay, yeah, that is very hard because it is a very specific question.
Right.
So I think I don't know how to explain how I do it. It's more or less a feeling. I think it's important to know where you need to hold references and where not. And if you don't need a binding, you can simply do things by using a listener that will simply work.
So do a binding if you really need to, and do listeners most of the time.
Yeah.
All right. Is that good enough? I mean, probably not. Hendrik is Hendrik Ebbers at Twitter, right? And so follow him on the page of this project, Code4.Life. There is the tweets for all the speakers. So go there, follow everyone, tweet to Hendrik, and he can answer you later.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, he says it's good enough, right? So it's
okay.
All right,
perfect.
Okay, guys, we're way over time here. I'd like to invite you to come to participate on all the Code4Life discussions. So that's code4.life.com, and we're gonna send you an email with the links for the replay. And please invite your friends to come for the next days. Hendrik, thanks a lot for this conversation. Thanks a lot for the barbecue for receiving us here in your house and organizing all this stuff for us. Thanks a lot, man.
Yep.
And thanks, thanks Ruslan for being here. Thanks, Otavio. Thank you for listening to us. Thanks a lot.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.